Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for BoardGameGeek TV. I'm sitting down with Franz Josef Herbst of Friend Joss Games, and you brought us
Domini. Yes, that's right.
Gotta practice my Latin.
Yeah, okay.
So what are we trying to do here in Domus Domini?
Domus Domini is a game for 2 up to 6 players. Each player is the abbot of a monastery, and the monastery produces food. So we play several rounds, exact 5 rounds. At the end of the round, the foods are scored, and what is special is the players get money, and that's the main part of the game.
Walk us through what a turn might feel like. Like, what kind of mechanics are we looking for in this game?
Yeah. So, of course, each round consists of several phases. So each player has an information sheet which shows the several phases.
So this cycle would happen 5 times.
Yes, that's right. There is a phase which is a more, not an individual phase, but there are some other phases which are done individual by each player. If a player finishes the phase, then it's the next player's turn. So there are 2 phases where players invest to increase the food production of their monastery. These are the phases 2 and 3. Then the result of their production is shown on the board. So each player places his card on the board corresponding to what his monastery produces. Then we have 2 phases where these results can be influenced. So there are some guys in the game, we call it lay brothers, and they can be sent to the other players to reduce what he has on the street already. And there's a 5th phase where I can forward my O card if I pay vegetable, and 1 vegetable brings my card 1 step forward. After all this is done, the laborers that are still in my monastery have to be fed. So if I have 1 to 3 there, I have to pay 1 vegetable. If I have more than 3, possible are up to 6, I have to pay 2 vegetables. So after that, the scoring is done in phase 7. Depending on the field where the player's card stopped, the player gets, for example, that player would get 15 points, that is, the number of the field is divided through 10, and this gives you the points. The yellow player would receive 10 points, for example. And now the players get money for the next rounds to make further investments. And the money is paid depending on the order of the cards on the row. So the last player, the player who has won less victory points, receives most of the money. This is shown on the information sheet. The last player receives 7 money, and the second last player receives 5 money. If you play with 6 players, the player who scored most victory points only receives 1 money. So you can't do that very often. The other players have more money and can invest more, so they will be in front of you, earlier or later. So the most activities done are, of course, in the investment phases. For example, you can hire a lay brother. For example, you can hire a cellarer. The cellarer costs money, but increases your food production.
Makes sense.
Then the cellarer scores at the end of the game, and this is similar. If it's an expensive cellarer, he brings you more victory points. If it's a cheaper one, you get lower victory points. We have 3 kinds of these cellarers. We have a gardener, we have one cellarer for the cheese dairy, and we have a brewer. Altogether we have 18 cards in the game, and on the information sheet you see how they are available. Each of these has special abilities. The gardener, for example, brings you 2 vegetables for free. If you have a cellarer for the cheese dairy, you save 1 money if you invest in your category, and the brewer brings you additional food, but therefore you need to have invested in your brewery before. Yeah, after hiring a cellarer, you can buy vegetables. That costs you 1 money. If your phase ends, it's the next player's turn.
You can certainly see how running out of money is going to limit your options throughout this process.
You should avoid this. Okay, you will get new money at the end of the round, but depends on where you have stopped with your card. So you have to find a good balance between winning victory points and to get new money. But you get starting capital. So you just have to find a good way to make economic activities. But you have a chance to save money in phase 3. So we have a money lender, and if you give him money, he pays high interest. So in the next round, you get back the money plus interest. For 3 money you gave him, you get 1 interest. But there's a maximum of 9 you can save. So there are some other activities. You can invest in increasing one of your economic sectors. We have 3 of them: a garden, a cheese dairy, and a brewery. The investments cost money, of course. We have one column which shows how much the costs are.
And we know that some of these guys can help out with that process.
That's
as
right.
Well.
If this player invests in his cheese dairy, the next step would cost him 2, but he has the right cellarer, so he saves 1 money.
And the sum total of these is the total in which your cart is going to travel on the road.
Yes, that's
here.
right. Plus what the cellarer brings you, and there's a possibility to, you can invest in building a chapel during gameplay. So we have 4 parts to build.
You had a nice diagram here on the reverse side.
Yeah. You need 4 parts to build a complete chapel, and this would score 20 victory points at the end of the game. The first 3 parts give you the possibility to send a lay brother there to pray for a good production. This helps. The card shows how your production increases if the chapel is filled with a lay brother. So you start with 3 lay brothers at the beginning, but can hire additional ones. This is
really seems like everything comes back to money management.
Yes, that's right. Money management. Yes. So
now you mentioned that this plays up to 6 players. Is it 2 to 6?
2 to 6. Yes.
How long would a complete game take?
You can. You need 25 minutes for each player. Of course, if you have played it several times, the time goes down per player. That's normal.
That's pretty true for most games, I think.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us by this. If you want to check this out, this is Domini.
Yes,
Not Domini, right. Domini, which you told me at the beginning of our last interview means House of
the God.
House of the Gods.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it by.
Thank you for your interest.